Welcome to the Doghouse Iracing podcast, and this is our very first episode. We're so happy to bring this to you. We plan on doing this weekly, especially when NASCAR season gets started. We want to talk about the weekly races, and we plan on doing it 1 week prior to every race. And I've been able to talk about several different topics that come up. NASCAR related. We also like to talk about weekly iRacing topics as well, especially our official races and our newly hosted sessions called Running with the Dogs. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dozer, the man with the mic.
Hey, once again, want to thank y'all for tuning in here. Like you said, this is Dozer, and you are in the Doghouse right now. It's our new podcast going on. Today we got several topics we're going to go over. Leading off our topics today is we're wanting to discuss a little bit about our league race coming up tonight in Vegas. Race in Vegas tonight in our Flying Aces Winter Cup league race. Bear's got some statistics on our stats and team standings and stuff, so I'll throw it over to him here in just a second, but really looking forward to get back out on the track. Myself, I've missed the last two races and barely made the cut, so I'm really trying to have a good race tonight just to keep myself in contention for in the points race, and also to help my team out. You know, we're third in standings right now with the new addition coming on board with the Dogs. We have James Lowe, who's going to be joining the Dogs team, and that moved us up, kept us right at about third place. So we're looking for a good standings to make a shot at winning this dang thing. So I'm going to throw it over to Bear and let him talk a little bit about our standings and who's sitting where on the leaderboards for the Winter Cup race. Bear, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Dozer. I just got an updated standings list here with the addition of James Lowe to the Junkyard Dogs. Looks like Soda Racing still leading the pack here at 789 points. Then you followed up by the Young Guns at 663. And with the addition of James Lowe, it has jumped the Junkyard Dogs to third place at 645 points. And then in fourth place, you got the Redline Motorsports at 505. And then fifth place, you got the Pryor Boys, and we all know they're fast. So that's going to round out your top five in the standings heading into the night at Las Vegas. So I'll turn it right back over to you there, Dozer.
I want to thank you there, Bear. Hawk, you got anything to comment on the point standings as of so far?
Well, the only thing I really got to say is everybody better watch out because the Dogs are coming. We just added James Lowe, who has been extremely fast at every race that we've been in, and adding him, that's just huge for our team. We're really close to Young Guns, and all I got to say is Young Guns better be ready to run Las Vegas because we sure are.
10-4, solid copy on that. All right, if nobody else has anything to add on to the current standings or about the league race, that's our current standings going on right now. I'm going to throw it into a little bit, mix up our topics a little bit, and want to give a shout out to the Bear who came up with an idea last night. And boys, let me tell you right now, we gained 16 subs in 2 races. That's right, 16 subs in 2 races. I want to spend a little time talk about on that because that really pumped our stream. I mean, pumped it up good. We had a race in last night. We raced at Daytona and the Xfinity cars. Then we turned right around, raced Talladega and the trucks. And I'm telling you, we had 2 full field rooms of 35 drivers. We got 16 subs. I think 12 of those subs, if I'm not mistaken, was from the first race. And then most of that field followed us into the Talladega room. So we have a good thing going right now as far as on some hosted races of looks like we're starting our own little community, try to get some of the guys. And we've got several guys that we already race with. John Carpenter, he had to work last night. So he couldn't make it, but Shane Dill, he couldn't make it, but we had a couple guys that we raced with. Cody Vaughn, I know he was in there, and Michael Blanton, Park.
Yeah, Gary Park.
We had a couple new guys come into the pack, but just want to throw out some info on that. But I mean, guys, what's your all's intake or input on the big race last night? That's what I like to call it. It's the big night for the big dogs because it was a big night, very well. Last night for our stream. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you what. You know, this being an off week, really. Having Xfinity cars running at Roval and Charlotte Cup cars going at Charlotte. Just not a very exciting week. And anytime there's some downtime and not very good official races, we're going to pop up some hosted sessions and let everyone run with the dogs. And the next thing that I'd like to talk about is if you're just watching this for the first time and you want to know when our hosted sessions will be available, you can check our Twitter out. It's TJD_racing, and that's on Twitter. Anytime there's going to be a hosted session, we will have our events posted and times on our Twitter page. So, but it was a great night of racing. I'd like to do some more booth broadcasts when those hosted sessions are going on and get everybody's car on camera. But just a great idea, and I thought Bear come up with an excellent idea there of opening that for the community of iRacing. And we look forward to racing with everybody else again real soon.
Thank you for your comments there, Hawk, on the big night last night. The big night with the big dogs, what I like to refer to it as. Bear, you got any comment on last night? Because like I said, you were really the brains behind that whole situation. It was your idea. You know, we put up a couple races and of some shorter tracks, and really wasn't getting a bite on it. And I think you finally just said, guys, we need to put up a super speedway. We was like, man, ain't nobody wants to race that crap. And we did, and I'm telling you, it was like the room filled up in 20 minutes. We still had 10 minutes of practice, and we had a full room. So Bear, give us your output on that. What led you to the decision of maybe wanting to try some super speedways?
Well, I tell you, it was a real blessing to get that idea coming to me there, and we've been trying everything to promote this channel, and I don't know, it took off like a wildfire last night when we started hosting those. I think people like to run those super speedways. When you're running official races, there's a lot of wrecks, and you got to worry about your SR and all that. And can't really do much racing, but when you're in a hosted race, you can kind of freelance it and just drive it hard. And I think that's what people like.
Definitely was a great decision for the Junkyard Dogs. That is a fact. I think at one point, Bear, I was talking to Bear this morning, and we were painting some cars and stuff, just messing around. I think Bear told me, I was asking him about it. And he said he looked down, and we was at 72, 73 subscribers, and he said he looked back down, was at like 86. And he's like, oh shoot, it was just out of a matter of time, we jumped up. It seemed like 10, 15 subscribers in no time. And, it was just a great idea for our stream. And, I really thought about throwing up super speedway because, you race them in official races, and it's a disaster because it kills you. But I guess people like to race them in the hosted races because you really don't take a big hit on your SR or your I rating. You can go in there and race and still have a good race. But if you get wrecked, it's not the end of the world. So definitely a good idea from the Bear right there. Y'all got anything else you want to add to the big night with the big dogs?
No, just stay tuned and watch out because we'll be throwing up some more hosted races soon.
Yeah.
To go along with that, check us out on Twitter at TJD_racing. And that's where we'll have all of our races. We'll be posting them up before we open the room, So if you follow us on Twitter, you will definitely be informed of when the races are going to be or any news from the dogs. So, follow us on Twitter and you'll be updated of everything that we're doing or everything we're involved in. Bear, you got anything to add? I think I cut you off there. I just wanted to make sure before I went on to the next topic.
No, I was just going to say we actually got 17 subscribers. To all the new guys, welcome to the Dog Pack.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Look forward to racing with y'all.
Okay, now this right here is coming up, and I know if everybody's as pumped for racing season as well as I am, I know I can't wait. And if anybody knows what's coming up in 42 days, you're a race fan just like I do. Yes, that's right. The Daytona 500 is 42 days away, folks. And we're going to go through here and talk just a little bit about some of our favorite drivers and stuff, and really who we think's got the best chance of winning the daggone Super Bowl of NASCAR this year, as it's referred to a lot. I'm going to throw it over to my main man Hawk and let him sort of dig in. Hawk, who's your favorite driver, and what do you think? How you think he's going to do this year at Daytona 500.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people that know me know that Denny Hamlin's my guy. That's my driver, and kind of the way I race on iRacing is a lot like Denny, and you either love him or you hate him, and that's kind of how I am. Either you like me or you don't like me. But commenting on Denny, I thought he had a really good season in 2018. He just couldn't find the winner circle, and for the first time in his career as a full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver, Denny failed to win a race. Will he bounce back in 2019? I mean, I guess we'll see. But right now he's on a 47 race drought, and he hasn't won in a while. He hasn't won since Darlington in September 2017. So I'm really hoping that Denny comes out and has a good year in 2019. And like I said, he just he had some good showings, but he just couldn't find the checker flag. But can he win at Daytona? Denny's always pretty good at the super speedways. He's always done well at Talladega. Can he win at Daytona? I think he can.
Bear, what's your output on that? I mean, I don't know. I remember we was talking earlier. Me and you really never wanted to pick us a driver to really follow yet. I was always a diehard Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, and then once he retired, I just wasn't feeling Alex Bowman. Nothing towards Alex any bad way. It's just I see the number 88. I see Dale Jr. It's kind of like the number 3 car. You see the number 3. Everybody always thinks Dale Earnhardt, not Austin Dillon. So Bear, what do you got going for us over there?
Yeah, but Dozer, I really don't have a driver either. Just a big fan of NASCAR. I always have been since I was little. But for this year's Daytona 500, I like Brad Keselowski to take it. He had a really good finish last season, and last year he won back-to-back races at Darlington and Indianapolis, giving Team Penske its first trophy at the Brickyard. He backed up his playoff run with a win at Las Vegas, where the Dogs will be running at tonight. And he finished 8th in the overall point standings. He's got a little momentum coming into Daytona. And right now he's the odds-on favorite to win, according to Las Vegas. So if you're a betting man, you might want to take that bet. So I'm going with Brad Keselowski.
Solid copy you hear there, folks. Bear's going with the Vegas odds. To be perfectly honest with you, I really don't like Keselowski. I think he's a crybaby. I think he's one of those drivers that likes to dish it out and can't take it. He wrecks somebody, it's sorry, but when he gets wrecked, it's always their fault. But enough of Keselowski. I think I'm gonna talk a little bit about the 2017 reigning champion until this past year when Logano won it. I'm gonna go with Martin Truex Jr., who had a strong season last year, included 4 wins coming at California. I think he won us here, Pocono, Sonoma, and Kentucky. Out of the whole season, he had 21, folks, top 10s, and out of that, 20 were top 5s. So definitely a strong season. Back in September, when they first brought out that he was going to be leaving Furniture Row and that he was going to be going to Joe Gibbs Racing, it was just said 2 days ago, Joe Gibbs Racing announced that Bass Pro Shops will be the primary sponsor for Martin Truex. So he's sticking with Bass Pro Shops. That's awesome. They're going to sponsor him right now for 24 races in 2019. Him and his crew chief Cole Pern are both going to the number 78 team over at Joe Gibbs Racing. I think that's going to be my guy this year. I think he's going to win the Daytona 500. He had a good standing last year. Austin Dillon, there was a little bit of ruckus raised at the Daytona 500 last year. It was very interesting. I look forward to see how that's going to turn.
Well, I don't mean to cut you short right here, Dozer, but listen, it's easy to jump on that Martin Truex bandwagon, okay? But let me tell you something. Hang on just a second. Let me ask you something. You said you was a Chase Elliott fan. I know you've been a Junior fan your whole life. You're going to have to pick a driver, big guy. Who's it going to be in 2019? Stick with them. I want to hear you right now on our first ever podcast, the Doghouse iRacing podcast. You tell everybody that's watching, who's your driver in 2019?
2019, I'm gonna go with Martin Truex.
Martin Truex. Well, listen, that's a good choice. I like Truex.
I think he's gonna have a solid year. He had a solid year last year, come up short at the end. Logano put it on everybody last year. You know, I rooted for Chase Elliott last year, and Chase had a couple good wins. Was voted the most popular driver of last year for 2018. He was voted the most popular driver, and just, I mean, he just wasn't doing it for me, man. I just couldn't get used to seeing that Napa Auto Parts. It just, that or the Hooters, neither one just really hit me. I'm a Southern man. You know, that Bass Pro Shops hit home. And also I like how Truex is. You know, he used to race for Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in the day. So I'm gonna stick with old Martin Truex.
Good deal.
I think he'll win the Daytona 500 and possibly have a couple more key wins next year to put him in a run for the chase again.
Y'all gonna make me pick one too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, I know it's easy to go ahead and say Brad Keselowski. I think, you know, if you're going with the Vegas odds, but who's going to be your driver, Bear? Who's your driver?
I take Keselowski to win the 500, but I'm going to pull for Ryan Blaney in 2019.
Blaney, that's a good pick. He's from Mooresville, North Carolina, down there where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is native of. So I got some respect for that pick. I like him, old North Carolina boys.
Yeah,
that's where my man Dale Jr. was born and raised.
He's been known to throw up a couple Virginia Tech paint schemes, so I'm going to have to definitely go with Blaney on that one.
The only other thing I've got to talk about here, Hawk, would be the wreck.
How did I know? How did I know?
Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know about the wreck. I mean, that's like one of those things. Like, you'll never forget about Dale Earnhardt spinning Labonte at Bristol. It'll always be talked about. So, any bad blood looking out for tonight, or is it kind of been swept under the rug? Or is that something that's going to be sticking in the back of your mind every time you see Buddy Chamberlain out there on the track?
Hey, listen, not to beat a dead horse. I don't care who you are, what your name is, or what team you race for. Buddy Chamberlain wrecked me intentionally, and it has not left my mind. And I can promise you, if he gets near me at Las Vegas tonight and thinks I'm going to back down or move over for him, he's got another thing coming. Because all it's going to take is one wrong move, and I'm going to put him straight up in the wall and keep on going. But that's all I'm going to say about that wreck. It was intentional. There's always going to be bad blood there. And whether I talk smack or not doesn't give anyone the right to go in and intentionally wreck someone. And as far as that $5 goes, as Shane Dill would say, the $5. Yeah, I'm over all the rest of that stuff. But Buddy Chamberlain and Crybaby Brandon Green, listen, those are two guys that don't want to get near me at Las Vegas because I'll hold a vendetta on them two, just for one mere fact of just continuously running their mouth, basically blaming everything on us. Every wreck is the dog's fault. It don't matter. If I would have done that to Buddy Chamberlain, it would have been blah, blah, blah. I'm quitting if you don't suspend him. I'm quitting if you don't penalize him. Y'all know that. I don't have to keep saying that, all right? I'm over it, and that's that. Look out at Las Vegas is all I got to say.
For you heard it there, folks. So be sure to tune in tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern for the Flying Aces Winter Cup League Race live from Las Vegas to see a little bit of good racing. And I mean, you may want to bring some boxing gloves with you, folks, if you're coming to watch that race. It's liable to get intense.
Yeah. Wires done came off. After that race last week, it motivated us. It motivated the dog. We got a fourth member now, and we're going to make some noise. We're going to drive it hard tonight. We're going to drive it clean. We're going to race you clean, but you'll know he's there. Absolutely.
Well, listen, on behalf of the Doghouse Iracing podcast, we cannot wait to see you all again in episode 2. Thanks for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and leave us some comments. As for the dogs, I'm Hawk, Dozer, and the Bear. Y'all enjoy it.